Hello, everyone. Yeah, so second video here, I'm going to throw out into the great expanse of the internet for probably an AI bot to watch and assume my likeness. I wanted to talk today for just a minute about in a journey I've been on that's led me to a conclusion about the American lifestyle. And the title kind of gives this away a little bit, but over the last few years, I found myself becoming more and more frustrated and angry at the world, and like I am always in a state of responding to someone's nonsense. And in reality, I frequently am. Um, Example today, I'm driving down the road and in the right lane, and I'm doing 25 miles an hour in a 40, and the person keeps slamming their brakes because every time they slam their brakes, I come up their backside and they're wondering why. Well, this guy's riding my butt. I'm going to slam my brakes. So I go around him, and of course, the person in the left lane slams their brakes as I'm getting over, and it's just a game to keep me from passing. Now, this is an everyday thing that's played out in every area of our society. And I wanted to do this video where I talked about this happened to me and that happened to me and whatever, but you live in the same world I do, particularly if you're in the US. There's things going on right now here. And I would like to say that those things involve just a change in the way that we as a society function. And I wish I was downtown right now because there's a giant 3-story painting mural of what I think is Rosa Parks, and it says agitate, 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 agitate. Isn't that what we're doing? There's a gentleman on my street who wears, okay, I live in a suburban area of the city, but in the city, he frequently walks out in the middle of the road, not on the sides of the road. We have sidewalks. Nope, nope. I'm going to walk down the middle of the road. Screw you. Agitate, agitate, agitate. Does it at night during a snowstorm? Nope. Screw you. It's your fault if you hit me. I'll sue. Agitate, agitate. You go to the grocery store, and there are certain types of people that you walk to one side of the aisle, they'll walk right over it to try to force a conflict. Agitate, agitate. Not allowed to pass anybody in the left lane anymore. And, I think we pick up on this stuff on the daily, and I certainly have. Um, I just did my first video a couple days ago about why I won't vote for people on the left anymore, and a huge amount of it is agitate, agitate. I didn't address this in the video because I didn't want it to be 100 minutes long, but it seems like all of government, not just the left, is no longer about solving issues. It's about punishing you and agitating you into doing what they want, right? So, for example, I'm trying to take my partner this morning to a medical procedure, and it's like an endless sea of red lights for no reason. I can't pass anyone. I can't do the speed limit because I'm supposed to be on a bus to go to a medical procedure. So maybe not agitate, but frustrate, frustrate. Um, you ever had a political conversation with your family? Agitate, agitate. It's easier to not hear your uncle talk about his life experiences and why he believes than it is to bring a boat horn, for example, to turkey dinner, and to just anytime he thinks he can voice an opinion, agitate, agitate. Our music, our culture. I have given up watching movies. We're not talking about stories. We're talking about selecting which diverse group of people is going to be empowered to win over another diverse group of people. There's no cooperation or intellectual stories. I remember when Contact came out. I love that movie. That movie is still one of my favorite movies because it talked about the nature of humanity. No, now you got to listen to movies. You got to watch movies. It's always a superhero. It's always a superhero, the sassiest one with the most unbelievable power, who's solving all of this or that. And it's just, we live in a world that has become overrun by people who think they are Rosa Parks. It's their job to walk down the middle of the road. It's their job to force a conflict in the middle of the grocery store. It's their role to punish you for going to work, to punish you for saving for retirement. Uh, and of course, this happens everywhere. I don't. This also happens in suburban areas. We know what a Karen is. It's become. I had to explain it at this point. You've been living under a rock. Probably the cheapest place you can find to live these days, because everybody's going to win. Everybody. I On the other side of this window is a house I wanted to buy to rent. I just thought it'd be cool to have the house next door. Chances are you don't know me, so I'm the put a giant fountain out front and have real nice lighting and gardens in your front yard. And I thought, man, it'd be cool to do that for the house next door, wouldn't it? And everybody started calling me greedy and everything else, and telling me that I deserve this and I deserve that. But a private equity firm bought it, and oh boy, that's okay, right? So now I don't get the benefits of trying to improve my neighborhood. Um, I couldn't. There's no way I could charge a reasonable rent for that place. But a private equity firm with bottomless pockets can buy it. It's about winning. We've created a society that is, everything has become a competition. Everything. You're driving down the highway. Nope. Nope. Whip in the left lane, slam your brakes. You can't let me go by. Agitate, agitate, agitate. We live lives where everything is micromanaged. You go to the doctor's office, here's an app you've got to install. Here's 20 minutes of process stuff you have to do for my business. You want to charge an EV? Well, you got to set an account up. Everything has become so hard and one sided that we've all just started to tear each other apart and to rip each other down. Here's my question. Are we there as a society anymore where we need signs of Rosa Parks saying agitate, agitate, agitate? She was trying to fight a real evil. She just wanted to take the bus somewhere. She was probably, I'm guessing it was the same in the 60s as it is today, right? She just wanted to go to work or do her thing. And the hassle of getting on a bus and dealing with this and that, it just, like, it sucks. And then she's got to sit at the back because of what she looks like. Are we there today? Or are we just so bored with our spoiled lives in the US where we feel like we have to constantly walk up and down a street in the middle of it to force some kind of conflict or to run into people in the grocery store? Is that where we're at? Are we making a better society by acting like that? All of this came out for me and has been coming out because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of living around this. Who wants to live around it? You go to work, you got to sit at every traffic light. You're not allowed to pass anybody. You get brake checked constantly. People are just petty. They're bored with their lives. They lack control. How do you escape that? I really like the saying, protect your peace. But when the whole of society has decided they're going to agitate their way into what? What are we doing? I mean, I know this person lives on my street. It's not a wealthy suburb, but it's definitely not a bad neighborhood. What are you doing by walking in the middle of the street? You're putting your life at risk. Somebody might be watching you instead of the kid running out into the road. And we're all so selfish that half of the people that I talk to about it say, well, he's living his authentic self. No, he's being rude. He's trying to force conflict. We've created a society that is just obsessed with forcing conflict. It's how we define ourselves. It's our identity these days. And for a lot of us people that culturally don't want to constantly be embroiled in either finding or creating conflict or having the conflict, we are sick of it. We're sick of it. We have a mental health crisis in this country. We have people that don't want to talk to each other anymore. We have friendships, lifelong friendships falling apart because you're not allowed to think differently than me. We have families that are falling apart. We're deciding who survives our healthcare system, not fixing it. It's all about competition, endless competition, and it tires people out. We wonder why there's so much crime because people are tired of it. Except for crime is down, right? The world's a great place. One of the reasons I didn't post a video up front was because the sound of stolen cars screeching by my house actually interrupted it a couple of weeks ago. I don't know. Or, instead of fixing the stolen car problem or the crime behind it, we're just telling people that they should do more to protect themselves or that they have no right to this or that, right? We're not fixing problems anymore. We're just stepping on each other. Here's my question for you. My grandparents grew up in a world where they had to grow their own food. They had to not only grow their own food, but at some point the town passed an ordinance that said they weren't allowed to do it anymore without a farming permit, and they fought to survive. We just sit on our, let's face it, gigantic backsides and we consume content on the internet and order food in, and we get paid more than millionaires got paid 30 years ago to do a third of the work. We're not fighting to survive anymore. Are we creating that fight? Is agitate, agitate, agitate the only way we can feel like the world of conflict in our own minds, the lack of peace, matches the outside world? Are we going to agitate our way into what should be figuring out how to decrease that anger and conflict in us? I think the answer is yes. I think the answer is absolutely yes. And here's the problem, right? How do you back out of this without having a nationwide conversation about it? Not everything is a competition. The number of times I followed someone in the right lane of a highway doing 45 or 50 in a 55-mile an hour zone, only to take it up to 100 to pass them and have them flash their lights and act like a child. It's like, if you wanted me to not pass you, all you had to do was do 65. I'm just trying to do 60. We never would have had a conflict. But you were forcing that conflict. You were bringing that conflict to the table. Because for a lot of people, the power and control that they feel when they create the conflict gives them some giddy little sense of like self-worth, right? It's a lot harder to address the emptiness in your life that consumerism isn't filling, that going home every day, well, this guy was trying to pass me, and I created a life and death situation for everyone on the road to keep him from passing me because it. Can you just stop? And here's why I say this: I'm 44. I've lived in a world where, sure, this stuff happened, but it wasn't everyone's modus operandi. People didn't wake up in the morning and go, "Oh, I'm going to just be that person on 490 today." They didn't do that. 490s are one of our local highways. Chances are you probably don't know that. Um, and boy, this just presents itself in so many ways. I got thrown out of a bar once for playing classic rock because I made someone feel uncomfortable. I listened to hip hop and rap, and then I assaulted them by playing, all this. Like, get over yourself. I just wanted to hear. I had a buzz on, and I just like, why does everything have to be a personal assault and conflict? I mean, I just not everything has to be a culture war. Not We can like different music. It's okay. There's some southern rock that I absolutely love. There's hip hop that I love. I mean, classic. There's some class. I think Music for Prague, 1968, I think is the title. Is a beautiful, moving piece about when the Germans went into Prague, and it's like it wrenches your heart. Um, Heck, there's a country music song or two I like. I can accept that all these things exist and not be mad that my selected genre isn't winning or that I went to a bar and it's not what I heard. Like, we all have to de escalate and get off our high horse. Rosa Parks did some fantastic work, but there's a time when you say maybe we should stop agitating and work on creating peace. I don't think we live in a world anymore where we're sending people to the back of the bus intentionally. I think the rich are, of course, but I think the guy walking down the street misinterprets his neighbors as the threat. We're not the threat. You don't have to escalate and create conflict anymore. You don't have to walk into people in a grocery store. We live in a wonderful world where we have a grocery store. I remember My parents raising pig, I'm sorry, my grandparents raising hogs to slaughter for food. You don't have to do that anymore. What a wonderful world we live in. That we don't have to do that. My grandparents were doing that 20 years after Rosa Parks fought her battle. We don't have to agitate every day. Yes, there's injustices in the world, and yes, we should absolutely work on fixing them together as one people. We have to stop turning everything into a penultimate conflict for who's going to come out on top. Because at the end of the day, that's why we're still feeling like the world isn't progressing, because we haven't won. Let me explain something to end this video. I had an epiphany earlier today. There will be a day when you go to consume media and you will be shown a real-time live AI generated, whatever it thinks you want to see. So maybe you're white and you want to just see white people doing white things, whatever, and the AI algorithm will generate exactly what you want to see. And if you're Asian, you'll see exactly what you want to see in exactly your language with exactly your cultural values. Is that the world we actually want to live in? I mean, one of my favorite, I live in an inner city neighborhood. One of my favorite things that happened here a few years ago, I was sitting out on my porch saying hi to the neighbors, and there's a black church at the end of the street. And they do these things for the community that are just great, that the churches that I grew up around didn't do. And they had two people on a mic. One of them was trying to do lemonade, to get people to come into the church. And they were battling each other. And the other one was going, hot dogs, come get your hot dogs. And she's singing and trying to get people to come in and build community. And I loved that. That was great for me. There's a value. And yet, I heard it over what was going on in my house. And it lasted a whole 15 minutes. Like, whatever. It's one of the funniest moments, but nicest community building moments I've seen here, right? If we demand that everything be our way and we agitate until it is, we're really creating a really boring, awful, crap world where we only see what we think we already know. And what a just terrible way to live. And that works both ways. I dated a person a couple of years ago that I took to one of our, it's called Old Home Days. It's where they celebrate the old ways, mill their own apple cider. And he loved it. Loved it. The hee haw music that was playing, he started dancing to it, and it was just that's what we should be working towards. We should be working towards a world where we celebrate each other and we stop demanding that everything be our way, because the reality is it can be exactly our way. It just requires a lot of oppression and a lot of myopic views of the world, and those are not things that are going to work out well. So I don't know. Come get your hot dog is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. I think we all have to actually choose to evolve into the next level of humanity where we're not fighting for our survival and we're not creating that strife. And in my own mental health battles, to try to be a healthier, happier person, I've realized that I am constantly responding to that conflict, to the creation of that conflict, to the guy that wants to walk in the middle of the road. I was in the airport the other day, and a guy in a MAGA hat walked right into me and said, I was standing in a line. He just walked right into me as if I shouldn't have been present in the airport. And then immediately started going on about, I don't know, whatever he interpreted I was wearing or whatever. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Do we have to constantly agitate and escalate? Does everything have to become a competition so that we can win it? What a crap world I don't want to live in. It's the reason why I long for the cabin in the woods, is to get away from it all. I love people. I'm an extrovert. I don't want to deal with that anymore. Come get your hot dog is what I'm saying. Thanks for tuning in.